And so that quest is a quest for getting of wisdom. And I mentioned before the Persephone and the Kore myth. So you might know the story of Persephone from Greek myth, where Hades, you know, rapes and steals her and forces her to stay underground, and then she's eventually allowed to come out for 6 months of the year with her because she's eaten the pomegranates. Yeah, but I don't tell that story. I tell a story of this young girl, Kore, and this statue is often been used as a Kore statue. Kore is Demeter's daughter. So you had Demeter's card before. Yeah? Mm-hmm. And Demeter is the mother goddess. She's the earth goddess. She's the one that, you know, makes sure all the fruit keeps growing and the flowers come and all these sorts of things. And Kore is her daughter. And Demeter is like one of those mums that is, you know, a be careful mum, like what you said. Like she's always like in Kore's face, like, be careful, don't step there, don't do this, you know, oh, everything's so dangerous, it's so, the world is so worrying, be careful, and doesn't let her go too far, doesn't let her go too far away. And one day they're out and they're picking flowers and all Kore's friends are there. It's a great big celebration of the, you know, just the joy of the meadow and all this sort of thing. And Kore's just had Jack of the be careful mum, right? Of just be careful, be careful. And she notices that she's dancing around, she's picking flowers, and she sees kind of like a little green mound, and from where Demeter's standing you can't really see it because it's just green, but when you come around the other side there's actually sort of a cavern that goes down, and Kore thinks, well, that's really exciting. That's, oh man, that'll get me away from the be careful, right? So she journeys down into the cavern, and as she goes further and further in, it becomes a cave, and there are beautiful, you know, beautiful crystals, a huge dark crystals shining, dripping with water. And she goes further and further in, and then she realizes it's a passageway that's coming very thin, and so she's almost got to crawl down through it. And then she comes back out the other end of the passage, and it opens up, and there's a woman sitting on a throne, and the woman is Hecate, and Hecate is Kore's grandmother, so Demeter's mother. And Hecate is the woman, the goddess of the underworld, the goddess of the crossroads, and she holds the space of all wisdom. So Kore has gone on her own volition, in her own time, she's gone down into the underworld, and she's come out into a space that holds the wisdom. And she says, oh my gosh, and she doesn't realize, she doesn't know Hecate, she's never met her before, you know, she lives far away. And she says, who are you? And she says, oh, you're my granddaughter, you've finally come, you know, my granddaughter. And she says, now that you're here, I can teach you all these things. Would you like to stay? Yeah, and she says, well, fuck yeah, because it gets me away from that. Be careful, be careful. Like, this is cool, this place is new. Like, look at your dog with the 3 heads. Awesome, let's stay here, right? So she stays and she learns what it is to go from child to woman, and all the things that a woman needs to know in the world, how to look after her body, how to bring babies into the world. Hecate will stand at the crossroads of women when they're about to birth and decide who's going to go forward and who's not. And so Kore gets to follow, she gets to shadow all of that information with Hecate. She, you know, she learns about herbs, she learns how to heal, and she learns about the darkness. Like, she lives with Hecate in the dark that whole time. And meanwhile, Demeter is up the top going, oh, the lovely flowers, and oh my gosh, where's my daughter gone? And freaking out, saying to the other friends, where's my daughter, where's my daughter? And the friends are like, you know, like, sisterhood, we don't know. We didn't see her go down any passageway, you know. And so Demeter starts wandering the world, like asking, where's my daughter? Like frantic, I've lost her, I told her to be careful and she's gone, oh my goodness. And she searches and searches and she doesn't find her, and eventually she gets so tired and she hoods herself, she puts a big cape and she just stops, and she's so forlorn and sad and broken, like this woman who hasn't completed her mothering journey. You know, that guilt that you get as a mother, that you think, oh, I've totally fucked up my child now, I fucked everything up. That, she's in that, and she's so sad. She has a cloth over her face, and people walk past, they don't even realize who she is, they don't realize she's a great goddess, and they throw her scabs of food, and they just think she's some old beggar woman. And in the meantime, because she's doing that and she's becoming so broken and she's so sad and the guilt is so on her, she doesn't pay any attention to her job on the world of making flowers and making fruit, and so everything starts to die. So the first winter comes to the earth. There's nothing left. The harvest is just left to rot, to go mouldy. You know, there's no food, and so all the people start going into famine, and to the point that they can't even throw scraps to the beggar woman anymore. And then eventually all the gods say, what are we going to do? Like, someone finds Demeter, yeah? So then there's a great search for Demeter. No one even knows that there's Kore missing. Who's Kore? She's just one of the daughters, but where's Demeter? And then they find her and they say, you know, going on? Why are you so sad? And they find her through like the knowing of something sacred. When there's something sacred hidden so deeply, so cloaked in something, and you know, someone who has so many layers over them, so many masks, that you see how wounded they are, but you know there's something beautiful inside. That's what they follow. They follow that song and they find Demeter, and they draw her out and they get the story, and they say, oh, Kore, oh no, she's with Hecate, don't worry about her. You know, it's like everyone knew, of course, that's where she would be. She was the right age, she was, you know, that's what happens. She was ready for initiation. And Demeter says, well, I can't go on without my daughter, you know, and so there's this to and fro between the gods, and they eventually say, well, let's go and ask Kore, let's ask her permission, what she wants to do. So they come back to the meadow, and all the friends of Kore are standing around you know, that mound where Kore went down, and they're all dancing. They're dancing in a circle, and they're celebrating, and they're you know, singing songs. And Demeter thinks, what's going on? Like, how can anyone be so happy? You know, I've made the world so sad. They should all be sad. But these girls are dancing her up. Yeah, and she comes up, and Kore comes up, but she's not Kore anymore. She's Persephone. She's become woman. And so she's come because she's learned as much as she can for this time. This learning of wisdom and initiation is like a spiral. So it's like we come around once and then we go deeper. So she's come up for this time. She's come around. She's come to practice what she's learned. And Demeter says, yeah, you're here. Oh, the world can go back to normal. We'll have fruits and flowers forever. It'll be so wonderful. And Persephone says, I won't be here forever. Yeah, I won't be with you forever. There are times when I need to go into myself, I need to go back to the grandmother, I need to learn more. And so Kore and Persephone teach us that spiral. It keeps going down, keeps coming up, keeps going down. And Demeter just has to lump that, right? The be careful mother just has to eventually cut the apron strings and let her go. And so that's how we get the seasons. So Demeter is still sad when Kore or Persephone leaves, but then she celebrates again. So when Persephone comes up, it's spring. So this time of the year, when all the fruits are starting, you know, the flowers are coming out, the sun's getting warmer, and then eventually as autumn comes and Kore goes back down underneath, just like a bulb gets planted down low, and it takes some time before she comes back out. And for me, this is the story. It's exactly the same story, but someone got in the way at the end. Demeter, or not Demeter, you know, the patriarchy. So like the Hades, right? So the story that you know that is Hades is a story that got in the way of that story that I just told you. Yeah, and that is a story. It's not a story I've made up. Like when
what is the timeline for that? What the story of Kore would predate the Hades story?
Yes, yeah, for sure. Yeah, so